somewhere along the age of eight or nine, Street Fighter 2 was the game of the moment when I was at the age. So that picture there can show you that's one of the characters there. So I wanted to learn how to shoot fireballs out of my hand. So I went to take up Taekwondo. Maybe it's the wrong discipline to learn how to shoot fireballs out of my hand, but in the end, I think the instructor wasn't competent enough to teach me how to do that, so I quit the sport. No, the real reason why we quit the sport because we were swimming and doing Taekwondo at the same time, but during one of the tests, my brother got kicked between the legs, so my dad didn't want us to continue with a sport like that. Okay, so around the age of 8, I picked up competitive swimming at a club. And all this while, I've been doing other sports like basketball and football as well. Boys being boys, sometimes we try to, this is in the era of Michael Jordan, so we try to emulate what he does at the basketball court, and sometimes we will miss swim practice. And maybe it's something that, so in terms of LTAD, this is probably something that helped me develop as an athlete as well, you know. So I had my first national team breakthrough. I made age group regional teams when I was a kid. But my first breakthrough was the 2003 SEA Games when I was 18. So you can know how old I'm right now, because I'm probably all around my age. So I made my first national team when I was 18, and then went on to make a few more national teams over the years before I retired at 2007. And then I became a coach right after that, and went full-time coaching, competitive coaching when I was, that was in 2011, 2012. And then I joined NYSI just last year. So the very first part of my life as an athlete, life as a swimmer, I'll just call it life as a fish. So there was a saying by Albert Einstein, never judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. So at the age of 14 or 15, I was already a competitive swimmer, and I was training a lot. So one day, this teacher told me, "Why do you swim? Why do you train so much? Don't swim, don't waste time. You won't have success as a swimmer in Singapore." So I was hell-bent on proving this teacher wrong. I don't know who he was. I can't remember his name anymore because that was quite long ago. But in my mind, I was thinking, why do we need to follow this typical road, you know, and a typical path of success? I wanted to have my own definition of success when I was 15. So this is something that stuck with me throughout my life. And so fortunately, my peers and I were quite resilient and in the face of comments like this, and we made in the teams and we went on international competitions. And deep down, I always wanted to prove, I had this underdog mentality, and I always wanted to prove people wrong, people who say things like that to me. So this had an impact on me as a high-performance coach as well. And it drives me to be a better coach, to be better than myself, and I was a few months back last year. And coupled with this, I always place my athlete in the center of my decision-making, and it's for their overall development and well-being. So moving on to the next phase of life, as a coach. So I think scientists have some evidence that, you know, we all started as a fish. Somehow there was one fish that came out of the water, started learning how to walk, and then after that he started evolving into all the other animals and eventually human. So I like to see myself as that fish that needed to come out of the water to learn how to walk into the next stage of my life. So I started, like I said, I started coaching after the 2007 SEA Games. And I miss being, initially I miss being an athlete. Because I spent so much time, 25 hours, 30 hours of my life, swimming up and down the pool. So right after I retired, you know, I kind of missed it, but at the same time, I had other interests as well. Very interesting hobbies like eating, and and also, you know, like I wanted to be a rock star, but that didn't work out. So that's why I'm on this stage talking to you guys right now. So this is some. In that corner right there, you can see I was trying to be a rock star. So I think my main point on this slide is because I just think it's crucial for us coaches to try to develop this multi-dimensional life an athlete should have, and not just think that, and not let the athlete think that, oh, I'm just an elite athlete and nothing else. This is because I've seen a lot of top elite athletes having issues with their life after they have reached the pinnacle of their sport, and then what do they do after that? I think this is something that has been mentioned throughout the whole of today as well. Athletes spend hours and hours in the weight room, in the pool, on the track, developing the physical aspect of their sport. But how much time do we as coaches spend, developing the mind of our athlete, of our youth athlete especially? So I ask myself that on a daily basis. So, I try to have one-on-one time with my swimmers, pre-practice, post-practice, just to understand them a little bit better and challenge them on a daily basis. Not to say I coddle them, but we set standards together and then try to work towards, and I teach them the process to work towards those standards. So what I went through as an athlete had an impact on my coaching approach. My swimmers are people first, as mentioned by Stephen earlier. So my swimmers are people first and athletes second. So like I said, I try to find out their goals, communicate with them more on a constant basis, and hold them accountable to these goals. And the decisions I made are still, at the end of the day, are still driven by performance, but I place the athlete in the center of this equation. So this is my last slide. So some of the things that the key messages I want to share today, it's a never-ending journey of self-discovery and learning, and having a growth mindset helps with being a coach as well, because we have to stay true to our convictions, but at the same time we need to be open to what is out there to try to evolve and to be a better coach. So placing the athlete in the center, it's an important part of my coaching philosophy, or even instead of athlete-centered but people-centered. Through this, success to me is being able to develop various aspects of your life instead of just being a one-dimensional elite athlete. It's not easy, but when you set your mind to do something like this, you can be the fish that walk on land. So with that, I'm done. Thank you so much for your attention.